Hello everyone, welcome back to the TJOmega channel for day 1550 of our daily content grind. So, we've had this big run of reissues from Hasbro lately, just old toys randomly showing up as solid cases at stores, and I'm genuinely curious why. Because none of the ones they seem to be reissuing, this random slew of things, really seems to be things that are really all that in demand these days. Especially the stuff from Siege and Earthrise. That's the stuff that was weird to me. So we're going to do a bit of a dive on eBay today, and we're going to do the research to figure out what the values for these toys are lately. So just to see whether or not they really are rare enough to warrant a second run or not. And I have to start with Siege Prowl because that was the weirdest one that came out. Like, nothing in my head said like, oh yeah, well, Siege Prowl, that's the rare one. That's the one everybody wants. No, everybody wants a clean, like cartoon accurate deco on Prowl to match all the other 84 Autobots you did that way. That's what we want. It doesn't seem like we're going to get it unless you want the one with a hole blasted out of his chest. But just for the sake of actually, doing the research and knowing for ourselves, we're on the sold listings for eBay. This is exactly how we come up with values for the toy shop. Tells you what people are paying as close to real time as you could possibly get. So, ignoring the one at the top, which is from December 4th, that could potentially be from the reissue run, we take a look down at some of the others that have sold in the last few months, and I really do not see why. I don't see why this toy was reissued. So, okay. Yeah, $25 loose for the figure, but no gun. Okay. Complete, $35. Here's another one, $35 used. Incomplete. Yeah, no weapon there. Like, these seem like normal prices for a figure that is like 7 years old at this point. This does not seem unusual. Like, there's a lot of toys out there that are run about this, and that makes sense. There have been multiple replacements for this toy at this point. So why it was released, I don't know. Let's take a look. So I want to take a broader spectrum here. I don't want to just look up individual figures here. Let's take a broader spectrum, and we're going to figure out what stuff from the Unicron, or not Unicron trilogy, but the War for Cybertron trilogy. We're going to see what it is going for these days. And we're going to ignore things like Green Light here, because Green Light is a very weird exception, just like how weird and random her release was. She is exceptionally rare. She is exceptionally rare. So let's take a look here. I mean, Starscreams, we've had multiple replacements, no surprise. Those are barely around retail right now. Ape Face is a better toy than people give it credit for. Like, it's just the character obscurity keeps it down low. The Magnus is still running at retail, no surprise. Omega Supreme, well, Omega's been reissued, so that shouldn't surprise me. There's values there. The Megatron, it's incomplete. It's incomplete. But if we scroll down to complete ones, yeah, it's still about normal. It's still about normal price. That's the thing. Like, here's Siege Prime, and that's a good figure, but between 86 Optimus and Earthrise Optimus, why do you need like a slightly Cybertronian Optimus Prime? Here's a weird one. Look, Mirage complete War for Cybertron. This is not listed as the Earth version. This is still listed as the Cybertronian, even without clicking on the link. I can see the Cybertronian writing on his legs. $50 plus $7 shipping. Where is this reissue? Clearly, this one is far more in demand. We got Barricade going for 28. The Rainmaker Trio can go for about $100 now, and so that's still about what they normally cost. My favorite shop up in Longwood, Florida, Acme Superstore, has a ton of these that have been sitting around for years. Let's see here. I honestly thought Springer would be lower, given he's been very specifically replaced. Brunt, okay. Brunt is one I could really get behind a second run of. That's actually kind of a fun figure. It's one of the better weaponizers, I thought. So I guess we would need another reissue of well no, like This actually, no, no, no. I'm misthinking that. This is like Brunt is a component from Triptychon. So why was this not reissued when we had a new Triptychon release? That seems obvious to me. Let's see. Who else we got here? Cog, that's normal price, even sealed. Refractor. Yep, with all three and all the parts, still normal price, normal prices. Why is that Shockwave $71? I don't care if it's out of Canada. Even with shipping costs, that's $90 for the Shockwave. I mean, it's Shockwave, so that part shouldn't surprise me. But are you really? Like, that's stunning to me. That is stunning. Sound Blaster, Ravage, and Laserbeak lose complete. Okay, see, that's more along the lines of what I expect. See, that's a store exclusive, though. Like, that came out as a Walmart exclusive. I want to say it's one of the 35th anniversary ones they did. That makes sense. That price makes sense for a toy like that. Jeez, we had one at the shop that I sold for way less than that. I don't know. My research might have been a little bit different. That might be a fluke price. Here is the 35th anniversary with the metallic and the anime shine to it. Still weird to me that they were actually doing like anime shine on Cybertronian designs that technically never should have had that. Still always look good though. $40, like that's not surprising. I still have mine. I might send them off to eBay. I've not decided as of yet. See, look at this. Brunt again, $50, $15 shipped. Ooh, Astro of Mint in Box Astro Train is $125 now. Well, I take issues with that toy, but I can see why the 86 is on the way, because yeah. Fix the shuttle mode, fix the gaps in the shuttle mode, and I would buy that toy again. No, I'm not kidding here. $60 for a sealed Thundercracker. Now that's fascinating to me because the Starscream didn't go for nearly that much. Let's see, oh no, we're getting broken images. I can't make a video with broken images, eBay. It's okay, let's move on. Let's move on to another page. So, Impactor. Actually, we'll refresh that page while we do this page. Okay, it's camera mode again, so about the same. So that seems consistent. The Rainmaker seemed pretty consistent. Okay, there's Spinister, $38. Now Spinister has had a replacement. He came in one of the 2-packs from Amazon, and I think it's an either or kind of situation depending on which one you like. But this is still surprising for a loose version because Spinister is not exactly the most well-known Transformer. See, Impactor's up to 45, around roughly 45, close to 50 actually sealed. Where's his reissue? See, no surprise on Ironhide. The 86 pretty much ate his lunch. Oh, the Refractor Reconnaissance. Like, this is the one that had all three of them in toy colors and all the extra parts. Yeah, about $80. It's about what it went for. It's 3 deluxes. So that's about right. Here's Alpha Strike, Counterforce. Now, this is another one that got reissued, and this one confused everybody because we kind of collectively went, why did this get reissued of all things? And yeah, getting a G2 Sideswipe is always cool. There's an extra Target Master thrown in there. The confusing part about that was the Slam Dance, because one, it's kind of inverted from what Slam Dance is supposed to be, but also because there was a massive QC issue with that toy, which, by the way, the reissue, from what I've heard from a friend who bought it, the reissue did not fix. So if you buy that hoping that like the legs were actually going to work on the new one, don't. Avoid it. I don't know why they reissued it without fixing it. That alone would have been a big deal. Look at this. Like, again, Thundercracker went for more than Starscream. How did that happen? I mean, it's Thundercracker. It's deserved. Don't get me wrong. Chromia unopened for over $40. Siege Deluxe for... Here we go again. Mirage going for $60. Now, that's a good toy, don't get me wrong, but I would expect the Earthrise version to be the popular one since, that's the one that looks G1. That's the one that looks like he did in the cartoon. This is the alien cybernetic translucent plastic version. Like $60. Where's the, like, again, this is what I mean, where's the reissue of that one now? Complete Figure Deluxe Hasbro, you've thrown in a lot of either upgrade stickers and extra parts to it, and it's still only an edge unit about an extra $10. Refractor's pretty consistent at that level too. Oh my god. And this was located out of China. Like, this was like post tariff, and someone was willing to pay $85 plus another $29 to ship. Over $100 to get Siege Mirage, and they chose to reissue Hoist instead of Mirage, or just more specifically Prowl, Siege Prowl instead of Mirage. Like, if anything, this is where we are learning about just like where those values lie and like where the demand is, because it ain't in Prowl from what we saw. Like, from the very specific Prowl search I did, nothing came close to making me think, oh, this needs a reissue. Clearly, we're going to do one more page just to be exact about this. I like them trying to sell this off as the War for Cybertron Megatron. It's not. That is absolutely the Cyber Battalion Megatron. Chromia for 40 again. Now there is a pitfall. There is a pitfall to doing any version of this mold. This does not have the combiner block in it, but there are a lot of those figures that came out during Siege that complete that combiner, that if you did one, people want you to do the others. Like, it would make sense to reissue Greenlight given how ridiculously rare she was and how many people are trying to complete that, that combiner. But I don't know, that would be logic. Like, I don't think Hasbro necessarily wants to like capitalize on the high demand of every single toy they do. I think they really want to just like hit the beats that are in between. Leave a few toys to be super rare because that gives collectors something to like hold upon high, like, look at this shiny thing I own. And I don't have any problem with that. I don't have a problem with things just being particularly rare. There's another $80, $90 Astro Train for everyone wondering why they're doing the 86 Astro Train. There you go. Wow, $70 plus 20 shipping for that Siege Optimus. That actually surprises me. That actually surprises me, as that just feels like a poor man's Galaxy Convoy. Let's see. Yeah, Takara's Nemesis Prime doesn't surprise me that went that high. I don't think Hasbro never released that Nemesis in America. Not to my recollection. $65 for a loose Mirage. Where is the reissue of Mirage? Where is the reissue of Mirage? Like, now this is getting absolutely ridiculous. Prowl over Mirage's high demand. Oh, Hot Shot's up to $60 too. Joy is me. Okay, so we know where the money is for Siege. It ain't in Prowl and it ain't in the Autobot Reconnaissance team. Let's take a look at Earthrise, shall we? Because I want to find a few hoists in here and figure out where that value is. Now, Thrust is one of the reissues. That is because all of the Coneheads collectors had trouble getting a hold of. So they just went and reissued all three of them over the course of, the last couple years. Thrust just came out. So this one could be the reissue. Could be the vintage. I don't know how to tell offhand. If he's anything like how the previous two Coneheads were done, he probably does have some difference to how he was made. Like, the wings might be solid plastic instead of painted. But I don't know how to do it from the box photos offhand. So we will assume $60. Okay, now that does make me think, yeah, reissue it. Okay, to complete a set of Seekers, I can understand $60 for a Conehead for Thrust. Why is Hoist $60? Okay, Maybe not all of them. Maybe not all of the reissues are unfounded. Maybe there's actually a few here that actually hit. That's stunning to me. Because I can remember, like, when that toy first dropped, remember, that toy came out before Trailbreaker. And I remember that distinctly because I was really hoping they would remold the side panels from the vehicle mode so they didn't hang down on Trailbreaker's arms. They didn't, which is unfortunate because I think it ruins his cartoon accurate look. But $60 for a hoist. Yeesh. You should be paying that for Snapdragon. Snapdragon's a much cooler toy. No one gives this toy nearly enough credit or kudos. This is a cool figure. I'm surprised anyone would pay anything for that RC. Oh my god, what are you doing paying that much for that RC? See, there we have Dirge. His values definitely come down since the reissue. The Quintesson Judge. It's up to $60 shipped, and that makes me sad. Not only because I would really like to have like 3 or 4 of them, like in Five Faces of Darkness, but also because the only version I own is from the Quintesson Pit of Judgment, meaning that mine is off color compared to how it should look, and that's very upsetting. But then again, the Quintesson Judge is always the hardest figure for me to put in any kind of display because his tentacles do not want to cooperate with anything. They just get in the way of any display I try to put together featuring the Quintesson. Not to mention, it's not the most stable thing, even with an extra stand. I guess I mean, that shouldn't surprise me. This thing screams top heavy. Yeah, 25 for Trailbreaker, so yeah, it's definitely not the mold that makes it valuable. It's the character. 55 for Snapdragon sealed. Earthrise Blue Streak. Look at this. Good toy. Good toy. $65. So when we are after an animation accurate Prowl and they reissue the Siege version instead, and you look at this Earthrise version of Blue Streak and go, where was that reissue? $65 for a Blue Streak, and they reissue Prowl instead, who you can still get for basically retail value. Grapple was a shelf warmer, no surprise. It doesn't reach its original $35 value there. Dead Optimus Prime, going for about what he used to go for. So here's the original 2-pack of Ramjet and Dirge. $120. Okay, yeah, that yeah, thinking about it again, yeah, that is tough to swallow. I think the bigger surprise there is the fact that there's no shipping label stuck to the front. Recall, this was part of that 2-pack, the other one being Ironhide and Prowl, where Amazon would just stick a label onto the package and then ship it out that way, even though the packages were supposed to combine into one scene. Meaning that a lot of collectors had the whole point of this packaging ruined for them. See if we go looking for anything else. Damaged box Skylinks is up to about 165 shipped. That's pretty good. I'm actually surprised that this Cliff Jumper is up to $40 because I would have figured the buzzworthy version with the solid plastic and would have been a little bit would have taken a hit out of that. Yeah, because this is basically just like all red Cliff Jumper, which is not accurate. His arms should not be all red like this. So, like, we got a much more accurate version. I'm actually surprised that didn't take a bigger cut out of his value. See, Runabout and Run Amok. It's not Run Amok that makes this valuable. It's Runabout. We saw Run Amok have about normal price in this little video. Runabout makes this thing $220. Jeez. Yeah, see, here you go. Like, okay, $40 for a sealed one. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, it's Runabout that was hard. Yeah, it's weird to me that's the second time that's happened, considering that Runabout and Runamuck are such minor characters in the original cartoon. I'm genuinely stunned that both times that they have been given modern toys, they end up crazy expensive if you have the pair. Okay, this is the Earthrise Prowl. This is the Earth mode version with what I feel are better proportions. $185. And they reissue the Siege version. Did they see listings like this and just think that this was the Siege version, so they released the Siege version instead of like the Earthrise that everyone would actually prefer? It's like, when I say like, yeah, we want the one that looks cartoon accurate like the other 84 bots you did, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. No one wanted the Cybertronian one again. Yeah, the rest of this is just kind of reading very similar. Yeah, I mean, man, 160, 100, yeah, 160 bucks for the pair. Wow. And that's for not mint, by the way. It kind of stuns me how fast this goes. Like, because, okay, most of this is pretty much expected. Oh, someone still you're still getting about $65 for your Earthrise Skywarp. For everyone who is going to be trading up their Seekers starting next year when the 86 mold comes out, get them on eBay today because their value is going to plummet the second the new ones come out. Yeah, like, it's kind of like, it's so weird to me that so many figures that come out, like, I would expect Exhaust to be more valuable. Like, no, he's about the price he always is. I would expect that one to be a little bit more because it was a Generation Selects. It was harder to get a hold of. Okay, that's fascinating. Okay, for the lot of 3, someone only got, 87 bucks for it. But look up here with a sealed one, someone got 70 bucks for just Starscream. And meanwhile, someone down here only got 55. Man, I mean, the prices are wildly fluctuating, so that's not a surprise here. But no, like, it stuns me of like how inconsistent it is. Like, I don't see how Hoist, who was easy to find when he first came out, is somehow a $60 toy now. That one, yes, I can understand reissuing. But then we start looking and we start finding all of these that are crazy expensive to get a hold of now. And was kind of like sit there and scratch my head and just wonder, like, why of all toys, 55 bucks for him? Why choose some over others? Why choose that Slam Dance Sideswipe 2-pack to reissue? When clearly, like, we are after things like Mirage from and I don't get it. I don't get the logic behind it. Though it is kind of fascinating to learn that some of this is actually kind of spot on. Like, I'm actually, like, stunned. And yeah, and then Runabout and Runamuck. Oh my god, if you're gonna reissue anyone, do a 2-pack of them. Like, it seems like there's still crazy demand. But yeah, okay, so that just gives you a little bit of insight today about those first 2 years of the War for Cybertron trilogy. It's the Wild West is what it is. It's just whatever it ends up being price-wise these days. It's fascinating, but also, like, weirdly concerning. Because, like, somewhere I can see Hasbro's logic, somewhere I can't. And some of these toys, I don't even know why they're so valuable, because I don't remember them being hard to get. But I don't know. That's just me. Let me know in the comment section below, what figure would you like to see reissued out of this era, this trilogy? Because, like, there's got to be others that were hard for people to find. It's just a matter of, figuring out which ones they are. Maybe Hasbro can look at the comment section here and go, maybe we should redo this. But that's my little research dive for the day. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you learned a little bit. I will see you next time. Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.